Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yo, you won't believe what I got. Brand new racing rig from P1 Sim Sports. Triple screens, full cockpit. This thing is insane.
The drivers have found themselves in virtual Knoxville, Iowa. Yes, not to be confused with the largest surface area city limit city in Tennessee, Knoxville. No, not that one. Home of Mayor Glenn Jacobs, which was the Big Red Machine Kane in WWE. If you did not know that, he now has control of Knoxville, man. It's like his own little army. But we are at Knoxville, Iowa, here for the Knoxville Nationals 100. Ladies and gentlemen, the championship round in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. And holy smokes, how excited am I to be here tonight. My name, Mac Nelson. I'll be on the production and the commentary, pushing all the buttons, making all the calls, all that good stuff. Bookings will be available for Monday night after tonight because, hey man, it's the last round of the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour 100-lap feature. Cannot wait. Cannot wait to get started here. We'll go to the points here in just a second. But Knoxville Raceway is the sprint car racing capital of the world. It was opened in 1954. Their 410 Sprint Car Championship night is going to be July 19th at, of course, Knoxville Raceway. But more to the point, drivers are gritting up for heat race number 1. But we got to go over our championship points, man. Jesse Newsom, the driver of the number 11 for Coast to Coast Sim Sports. He is going to be in the lead with 1,511 points here. Jeffrey Hyatt close behind, but I don't think it's close enough. 1325 for him. 1229 to James Murphy, who I am just realizing I put the Midwest logo over him on complete accident. I am so sorry. He is a Twisted Speed driver along with Cameron Carrington. I am just now noticing that. I apologize dearly to Mr. James Murphy, who is in the number 65 for Twisted Speed. I do need to force that point home. That is on me. Nate Wimhoff going to be in P6. Cam Carrington and Tyler Bickford making up P5 and P4, respectively. There is the number 65 of James Murphy. Rocking that clean, cool blue here tonight. Something you don't typically see those Twisted Speed drivers represent color-wise. But nonetheless, a very good-looking scheme. There's a look at your pole sitter. Mr. Aaron McGee, Jeffrey Hyatt will be on the outside of row number 1. Tyler Bickford in the 07, and Landon Rourke in the 14. Going to make up row number 2. James Murphy and TJ Boyd going to make up row number 3 with Derek Darnell and Jason Wilson rounding out your grid, and row number 4. For our heat race here tonight, going to be 2 of them, I believe. Driver stacking it up. iRacing official pace truck going to make its way into the safety of the pit lane. And we are green here at Knoxville for the first time tonight. 100-lap feature. As I think everybody is going to end up making it. However, if we were in a normal race scenario here, it would be the top 3 that move on to our feature race. Jeffrey Hyatt closely in tow there. You can see him trying to make something work along that top side. Drivers are going to know that they are going to make it to the feature regardless tonight. So these heat races, while finishing well does mean a better starting spot, at the end of the day, the race is 100 laps. Drivers are going to want to use this as sort of a testing ground for what might work and what might not work in the feature here tonight. Dana in chat saying thank you for the series broadcast. Hey, Dana, no problem, man. It was an honor. It was an honor and a privilege to be here with you guys for the entirety of this season. It was one heck of a ride. But we still got one more round, man. TJ Boyd is going to be in the pits. I'm not sure what happened to him. But, man, not exactly how you want the heat race to go. He should be fine as when it comes to qualification. I do believe he is still going to make it into the feature A-OK, but you know he is hitting the setup right now, saying, oh, well, whatever I just had did not work, so they're going to have to try to change that up in the number 015 camp and get it ready for the feature here tonight. Jeffrey Hyatt is kicking up the dust, man. White flag in the air. He is going to have a 0.4 of a second lead over Aaron McGee. Aaron McGee being pressured hard by Tyler Bickford. That's going to allow Mr. Hyatt to get out and away. And that's going to be Jeffrey Hyatt, who wins heat race number 1 tonight. As I'm sure that's going to kind of tighten things up in that championship hunt. Maybe something to be aware of on the side of Jesse. As we see the cars going by, the fans admiring everything there is to see and hear when it comes to Knoxville Raceway. Here for the Knoxville Nationals 100. Drivers are getting set for heat race number 2. They're taking off now, which means we'll take a look at the grid. Surprisingly, Jesse Newsom is not going to take to the grid for heat race number 2 here tonight. It's going to be Nate Wimhoff on pole. Jesse Newsom was supposed to start in P2, did not bring his car out. Evan Horton in P3, Cameron Carrington in P4, Christopher Perini in P5 with Jacob Owens outside row number 3. Brandon Schatz is going to be in P7 in that number 34 super late model. As you can see, it is a packed house here at Knoxville Raceway. Whether all these fans are here for Jesse Newsom, maybe they're here for Jeffrey Hyatt, maybe they're here for Evan Horton. I know Evan Horton has a big fan club rolling around with him. There's 2 more Twisted Speed drivers on the grid in the form of Cam Carrington and Evan Horton. iRacing official pace truck makes its way in, and we are green here for our second heat of the night. And Nate Wimhoff, what a fantastic start he gets. I mean, he's already out to a 3-car length lead on everybody. Nate Wimhoff did not come to mess around here tonight. He is strictly business. And it makes sense, too. He is creeping up the championship ladder. Looking to get even more spots here tonight. Pull up the points here. He is in P6. He did get jumped by Cam Carrington last week, so with him and Cam Carrington starting on the front row here, maybe things were just a little more personal tonight in the heat race for Nate Wimhoff. Regardless of his reasons, he is fast. As he is making that late model fly around, will get up into the spotter's booth. That's enough looking at how nice these cars are looking tonight. These guys leveled up their game when it comes to the liveries here tonight. Evan Horton and Cam Carrington representing Twisted Speed. They're going to be sitting P2 and P3. Brandon Schatz, Mr. Schatzy, trying to fight off Midwest teammate Christopher Perini right behind him. Unfortunately for Jacob Owens, it's not going to be the best night when it comes to his heat. He is currently running last of the active cars. And if you're Jacob Owens, you're going to have a very, very short amount of time to get that car adjusted before the feature here tonight. As, oh man, into the wall goes Jacob Owens. Nate Wimhoff is going to take the white flag. He is going to boast a 1.5 second lead over Cam Carrington. And if that's how Mr. Wimhoff looks in the feature tonight, he might be the dark horse to win it all. Nate Wimhoff in the number 48 is going to bring home that heat race win here in our second and final heat of the night. Cam Carrington and Evan Horton bringing it home in P2 and 3 for Twisted Speed. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for our 5-minute warm-up. When we come back, it's going to be the 100-lap feature race here, and we will crown a champion in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour live on the OuTPost Racing Network.
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
I hope you guys got your bathroom breaks in. I hope you got your snacks. I hope you got everything you needed done, because you've got to lock in 100 laps. That's all it lacks. I don't know why I tried to mix lack and like there. That's all it lacks before we have a champion crowned here in the No Limit Racing Crown Tour. Biggest question tonight is, where is Newsom? He joined the session. Chose to not participate in the heat. I don't think he participated in the warm-up as well. Have to see what exactly happened with our championship leader. Now, there might be a world where he has locked up the title regardless. Because, yeah, he is not taking to the grid. So there is a decent chance that Jesse Newsom is strictly here to just watch. I, unfortunately, am not entirely well-versed in their point structure here in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel. So I don't know what needs to be done. I don't know if it can even be done for Jeffrey Hyatt to catch up. That might be why we haven't seen Jesse Newsom take to the track. But if we remember a few weeks ago, I think maybe 4, 5, maybe not that long ago, Jesse Newsom did have a connection issue. Forced him to be kicked out of the race. So, do know internet problems like myself here. I have plenty of internet problems here at the OuTPost, but goodness, imagine championship night and it's an internet problem for our champion-elect. And that causes Jeffrey Hyatt to maybe pass him. I don't know. I'll try to get some answers as we move on through the night here tonight. But let's not worry about that right now. All we need to worry about is the 100 laps these drivers of the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour are about to put in front of our eyes. We are green here in virtual Iowa. And Jeffrey Hyatt, much like his heat just a few minutes ago, he looks dominant from the onset. Aaron McGee is going to be closely in tow with Nate Wimhoff, who I said just a second ago, Nate Wimhoff is that dark horse player here. He is looking S-tier here at Knoxville tonight, but watch out for Cam Carrington because he is putting down almost identical pace to Nate Wimhoff. Actually had him ran down on the back bumper. And I am receiving word right now that Jesse cannot be beat, So that is what I am seeing. That is what I am hearing from race official Dana Burdick, league admin Dana Burdick, all the cool titles. Throw him his way. He's the man. Jesse cannot be beat. He is strictly here to watch. So unfortunately, that does create a little bit of an anticlimactic finish here at Knoxville. But man, what an effort it was for Jeffrey Hyatt. Put in the work all season, had a few slip-ups early on, and that's what cost him in the end. But for the likes of Nate Wimhoff, Cam Carrington, Evan Horton, they want to be fast. They want to win this race. There's still, I believe, $20, $25 on the line every single time these guys go racing. And I'm sure the championship purse is paying out nicely to maybe spots 2 through 5 as well, so they are wanting to get as much in as they can. They're wanting to get as much accomplished that there can be. So big shout out to the drivers. A big shout out to Dana Burdick as well, passing that information along. We got the stipulation. 170 points is all that you can get in a night. And unfortunately, Jeffrey Hyatt is 183 behind. We'll take a look at your point standings again. But for the likes of Murphy, Bickford, Cam Carrington, Nate Wimhoff, especially if Nate Wimhoff goes out here and has a crazy night, he could jump Cam Carrington in the standings. Same thing with Bickford. Bickford could be second by the end of the night if he happens to win this race. He is currently sitting in P9. We'll take a look at him in the 07. Not exactly the best of starts here, but hey, I've seen stranger things, and I'm not talking 11. So just a reminder for the people watching at home, if you're not too familiar with the cash purse here, it is going to be $700 paid out to our champion, Jesse Newsom. Second place is going to get $200. So that currently sits as Jeffrey Hyatt, but it is not locked up. Third place is going to get 100 points, or $100, I apologize. So, yeah, there is still big money on the line for the likes of Hyatt, Murphy, Bickford, and Carrington cannot, unfortunately, but Bickford can definitely jump up. This second, third, fourth of Jeffrey Hyatt, James Murphy, and Tyler Bickford. Once again, I apologize for James Murphy not having the Twisted Speed logo. That was on me. That is completely on me. He represents Twisted Speed, not Midwest. But, like I said, those guys can do a whole lot of shape-shifting in those championship standings. So definitely something to see here. And speaking of James Murphy now leading Mr. Hyatt. Well, actually, he's leading his teammate, Evan Horton, so it's going to be a front row lockout currently of Twisted Speed. Look at Cam Carrington as well. He sits in P4. And look at this. What a night for Twisted Speed it would be if they could get all three cars on the podium. How cool would that be? An absolute statement being made by Twisted Speed here tonight. If you're following any of the dirt racing pages on Facebook, the dirt sim racing pages, Twisted Speed, they're always posting their high SOF wins on the Facebook pages. And there's been a lot this week. They have been in the win column a whole lot, so seeing them in top form here in the NLR, especially on championship night, is no surprise whatsoever. Brandon Schatz now battling with the number 10 of Carrington. Schatzy driving the number 34 super late model. He went with a little bit of a change up on his livery here tonight as well. Nate Wimhoff choosing to take the passive route here to start our race. He is down 4 spots back to 6th, but I mean, with the pace he had, you have to think that this is completely his own doing. I think he is planning for the end here tonight. 100 laps here at Knoxville. Gonna take quite a while. Drivers running 18-second laps. Not the typical 12 to 14-second laps you see at most of the tracks. Going to be quite a long one, so drivers are going to have to kind of settle in because this race is going to feel a whole lot longer than anything we've seen here on the Crown Jewel Tour calendar. Drivers going to have to be extra careful as well because with the longer race, that's going to be more opportunities for them to rack up incident points, which a couple of drivers are close to penalties on. Although the championship is all but wrapped up, I mean, you still don't want to go out on a DQ or go out on a suspension. Especially imagine a driver going out on suspension this race. They have to miss the first race of next season. And then imagine that. I mean, that's just a whole bunch of momentum, confidence that you're losing because you don't get to be out there opening week. So that's definitely something for drivers to think about as they attack this long race here tonight. But if we look to the front, get an outpost blimp cam here. It's all Twisted Speed. Look at the sea of blue. Cam Carrington followed by Evan Horton, who are followed by James Murphy. In the number 65, Jeffrey Hyatt attempting some sort of a move, but it's not going to work. And look at that, Carrington and Evan Horton getting out and away. But if you're the likes of James Murphy, you want to keep Jeffrey Hyatt as far down the grid as possible. And in a perfect world, maybe these Twisted Speed teammates let him through. And if the stars align just right, we might be able to see James Murphy jumping Jeffrey Hyatt for P2, but with how Jeffrey Hyatt's been looking these past few weeks, I do not think that's going to be as easy as one might think. Still 72 laps to go here. Drivers working on lap number 29 now. Aaron McGee is going to be the first driver kind of back off this lead pack. He has Jason Wilson, Christopher Perini, Tyler Bickford, Derek Darnell, and TJ Boyd behind him. As only 14 cars are going to be running here tonight. Definitely very, very different from our opening, I'd say, 7-8 weeks. But you're going to see that in all iRacing series, whether it be league or official. When something kind of gets out of question, drivers start to not really want to put in the work. It's just kind of how it is. But these drivers here tonight that showed up, I mean, first off, they know there's no better racing you can have on a Monday night than the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour, so that's one reason they showed up. Two, they know they got the best broadcaster in the game. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, seriously, these guys show up, they put in the work, and it definitely goes noticed. I mean, these guys go into officials, and they put in work throughout the week. They're in league races almost every other night putting in work, so these laps they're doing here might seem pointless on the championship side of things. But look at this, Twisted Speed, it's like they're running a practice session right now. I mean, they're all beside each other, they're all testing out different lines. I mean, these guys are absolutely flying. 67 laps to go. It'll make 66 when Cam Carrington crosses the line, but you want to talk about a complete uprising in the dirt racing scene. You look no further than Twisted Speed, man. These guys are next level. Landon Rourke going to follow closely behind in the number 14. He's got Jacob Owens behind him, and good for Jacob Owens. Got dead last in his heat. He now runs P5. Very, very cool story there from the likes of Jacob Owens. Started this race in P12. And he is going to love this if he can get this result to stick. Nate Wimhoff is right behind him, though, trying to make it around the cushion onto Jacob Owens. They're going to make a little bit of contact. Good save on the likes of Owens, and good way to draw out or check up from Nate Wimhoff. He created a little bit of an issue and decided to solve it very quickly. Instead of doubling down on it, he's going to throw the slider line on Owens. Owens is going to retaliate with a switchback. These drivers, I'm sure, are going to try to do some of the similar things here as they hit turns 3 and 4. Typically, when you see drivers start to throw the slider line, you see the slider and the switchback exchange 3, 4, 5 laps in a row. And now, yeah, we're right back to it. Nate Wimhoff throwing the slider line. Jacob Owens down onto the bottom. Going to be a drag race to see who can set their car up better in turns number 3 and 4 here. It looks like it's going to be Nate Wimhoff who gets way more momentum out of the corner. Slow in, fast out, racing 101. It changes up a little bit when you get on dirt instead of asphalt, but the same general rules apply. Now here's Landon Rourke, who is quickly approaching the front windshield of Mr. Wimhoff here. Him and Jacob Owens catching up to Landon Rourke, but a second, more than a second actually, up the road from these fine drivers is going to be the three-headed monster of Twisted Speed, who lead and sit in every single spot of the rostrum right now. Cameron Carrington in P1, Evan Horton in P2, James Murphy sitting in P3. Fantastic night for them. It's going to be a generational downfall for the Evan Horton Hate Club if he can get himself a podium here in the championship race of the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. Aaron McGee is working his way up in that number 8. He was down in P14. He managed to get around TJ Boyd and Derek Darnell. But unfortunately, it's going to be 9 spots down for Mr. McGee. It's also going to be 9 spots down for Jeffrey Hyatt, who now sits in P10. And unfortunately, that's one of those things where I don't know what happened to Hyatt. He kind of just silently dropped there, as that is not what you like to see. James Murphy now in P3. Evan Horton and Cam Carrington And it kind of seems like a 2+1 setup here for Twisted Speed. It seems like Cam Carrington and Evan Horton are working together, doing, you know, pretty much the exact same thing, helping each other where needed. But James Murphy is kind of just doing his own thing, maybe playing defense for the two up-and-coming drivers here, Cam Carrington and Evan Horton. But Twisted Speed putting on one heck of a show. We're almost halfway through the race here tonight. With that being said, I'd just like to remind you guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming out all season long. You guys are the absolute best. I know it means the world to me, and it means the world to the No Limit Racing crew over there. Dana Burdick, Nicholas Molly, I'm sure a ton of others behind the scenes putting in work to make this a really, really cool league. And it was an honor to be able to broadcast it for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you inviting me into your homes every single Monday, 7:30 CST. One heck of a ride it was. We got 50 more laps to write history, and maybe not history. Well, we might be looking back on it as history, but I think we might be planting seeds for the future here in Twisted Speed. I mean, they are absolutely flying. Nate Wimhoff has worked his way back up. He has worked his way back up to the top three. He's actually going to get around James Murphy there, but Murphy going to have way more momentum. He should be able to take this position back with ease around the bottom. It's going to be a test to see who has more pace here. It's actually going to be advantage Wimhoff, so he has now broken into the Twisted Speed triangle. He now sits P3. But if you're the likes of Nate Wimhoff, this might even be a little weirder, because now you don't have enemies just in front of you. You got them in front of you and behind you. So who's to say that won't be a big play on the mental for Nate Wimhoff? Meanwhile, back at P8, Brandon Schatz going to war with teammate Christopher Perini here. All the teammates are running very, very close to each other here tonight. Then right behind Brandon Schatz, you see Jeffrey Hyatt, another Midwest Sim Sports driver. He is going to be beside Perini and Schatz, his other two teammates here in this race. Tyler Bickford as well sits in kind of no man's land between the two. He is going to be out in complete open track. He sits P5. Nate Wimhoff now trying to make a move on to Evan Horton. Evan Horton in the number 34. Trying to take it along that cushion, rip along that top side, carry the most momentum through every stage of the corner that he can, but Nate Wimhoff has beat him to it. They're now 3 wide for P2. It's going to be 2 Twisted Speed drivers rivaling Nate Wimhoff here in the number 48. Nate Wimhoff representing Midwest Sim Sports as well, I believe. There's the 65 of James Murphy blinking back in. Maybe a little bit of a connectivity issue. Going to be a big wall tap from both Nate Wimhoff and Evan Horton. Cameron Carrington is loving every single second of this, because while his teammates are going to war for him, he is extending this lead, and that is going to be a caution flag out. So the action is going to come to a halt. We'll take a look at what happened here. You see Shotzi up in the corner battling with, oh no. Was battling with Perini, his own teammate. And that, oh man, that's gonna be Perini greedy. I mean, that car is junked. Rocking the Chase Copeland tribute livery. Oh my goodness. That's going to be a lot of cars to the pits. And that is going to be action winded to a halt. Now we'll get to see how these drivers do when they have to restart a race instead of just starting one. But I have a feeling with the way these Twisted Speed drivers have been running all night, they are not going to have any trouble getting back out to a big, big lead. So there's a little closer look at our current race leader, Cameron Carrington, sitting in the number 10. Looking to make a big statement tonight on behalf of not only him, but Twisted Speed as a whole. Looks like lights are going to be out on the pace car. We'll get back up into our spotters tower. Racing official Pace Truck going to make his way into the safety of the pit lane. We are green flag running here again in Knoxville, Iowa for the Knoxville Nationals 100, the championship round of the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. Here live on the Outpost Racing Network. It's going to be damn near 3 wide for P2. Cameron Carrington's going to squeak out and away from all that calamity and chaos. Absolute magic being displayed by Cam Carrington right now. He cannot put a wheel wrong. Evan Horton almost just ruined it for him, as Tyler Bickford has now had a big jump. He sits in P2. Jeffrey Hyatt now coming up to P4. Where has James Murphy gone? He's all the way back in P6. He is being separated from his Twisted Speed teammates. And look at this. It's almost a 3v3 of sorts. Cam Carrington, Evan Horton, and James Murphy versus Tyler Bickford, Jeffrey Hyatt, Nate Wimhoff. Twisted Speed versus Midwest Sim Sports. But there goes Tyler Bickford around Cam Carrington, trying to get his car inserted in front of him on the top side, pushing that cushion. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Tyler Bickford has just a little more momentum in that super late model than Cameron Carrington does. And now, ladies and gentlemen, will we see the checkout? Tyler Bickford ran 0.2 faster that time around. They both had open track. We'll see what they run now. It's going to be a 19:13 for Tyler Bickford and 19:32 for Cam Carrington. Was Bickford just saving his stuff? DJ Boyd and James Murphy going at it. Nate Wimhoff also in that picture. James Murphy, that's going to be a big wall tap from him. He is going to manage to save the momentum, though. Keep pushing it down. And he is going to stay in front of Nate Wimhoff as they come to the start-finish line. 31 laps to go. Tyler Bickford in the number 07, working his way around the bottom now. Funny enough, he just found so much success up at the top. He's going to keep pushing it down low. Trying to feed off that bottom, get his car hooked and turning. But here comes Evan Horton around the top. He is ripping. Car staying sideways through every stage of the corner, leaning on that cushion just a little too hard that time around. That's going to be contact with the wall. That's going to slow him down tremendously. It's now going to be a 0.3 of a second gap from him to our leader. Jeffrey Hyatt's also chilling up in third. He has found his way back to what would be a third place finish if the race ended right now. But he's still got 27 laps to try to shake these Twisted Speed drivers off. Cam Carrington, James Murphy sticking to that top line. That's where they've been going all night long. It is paying off big time. Now we see James Murphy trying to take a page out of Jeffrey Hyatt's book, trying to feed that bottom. Try to keep the car hooked, keep the car turning. Jeffrey Hyatt doing a fantastic job. Evan Horton going to be bridging the gap. Not only is he bridging the gap to Tyler Bickford, he's also building a new bridge behind him. Jeffrey Hyatt going to be a full second behind Evan Horton, who now sits in P2. All he's got is Tyler Bickford to catch. 24 laps to go. They're working their way around Brandon Schatz, who will be a back marker here. He's going to be in the way of Evan Horton. There's not really anything they could have done, though. I mean, Schatz stayed high. Evan Horton just very, very unlucky that that is where he caught up to Mr. Schatz at. But, I mean, it really doesn't matter. The gap has already been made back up. Evan Horton got to be your fastest car on track right now. And to confirm, yes, he is. Just barely, though. Jeffrey Hyatt, Cam Carrington pushing almost the same exact lap time. Evan Horton is now going to be in P1. Jacob Owens playing second fiddle to Evan Horton, unintentionally, obviously, but yeah, these back markers are really holding Tyler Bickford up, and it's nothing but clear daylight for Evan Horton. 20 laps to go. Can the kid do it? Evan Horton in the number 34. He's only got 20 laps to get it done. He's had haters in chat all season long. But he currently leads by a big margin, over a second gap to Tyler Bickford, but it is closing. Job's not finished yet, Evan. You still got 19 laps. Back behind them, James Murphy is going to be sitting as a big, big loser from where he was just a few laps ago. About 30 laps ago in this race, it was a Twisted Speed 1, 2, 3, and now it's going to be very, very spread out. P1 for Evan Horton, P4 for Cam Carrington, and then 2 cars back, P6 for James Murphy. Man, oh man. James Murphy, I mean, had it all there for a second. Twisted Speed seemed to be looking very, very good, but this man for Twisted Speed is still looking very, very good. Evan Horton, man, in the 34, listed as number 7 in the league. But hey, man, tonight you're 34, Evan. Look at him go, but he's going to be tearing down that wall. Tyler Bickford is going to be catching back up. It's going to be half a second lead. So if you're on the side of Tyler Bickford, we'll bring up the points one more time. He sits in P4. He is going to be, I mean, within maybe range of jumping James Murphy. I mean, surely. That's going to be very, very strange. We'll have to see how it all plays out. Evan Horton is now being challenged for the lead by Tyler Bickford. Jeffrey Hyatt also there. 12 laps to go. Jacob Owens has gotten a black flag. He is going to be sent to the pits, I believe. That is going to be him out of this race. We've got 10 cars that are now flying. Jeffrey Hyatt gonna get up there next to Evan Horton. Evan Horton just still trying that top side when I don't think he has much left. 11 laps to go. The pace is just starting to slow down. As now he's going to fall in line with Bickford and Hyatt, but it's going to be very two close cars that are going to determine our win here, assuming nothing changes and assuming we stay green. Tyler Bickford in the number 07. Representing Midwest Sim Sports, Jeffrey Hyatt right behind him in the number 66 also. Representing Midwest Sim Sports, Jeff Hyatt, man, he was the only one in the end who could hold a candle to Jesse Newsom, but it was just a little too late for the run that he put on. I mean, Jeffrey Hyatt is in incredible form right now. He is looking the fastest that I have seen him in the past year or so. And I don't know if it's going to stop anytime soon. He is looking absolutely incredible. He got a podium in the Win Cash Wednesdays inaugural race last Wednesday. This Wednesday we head to Oswego in the super late model. So if you are interested, join the OuTPost Racing Network Discord. Get yourself applied to the league, and that is it. All you gotta do, you can run. You can run with some of these names like Jeffrey Hyatt, Nate Wimhoff. Cam Carrington, I believe, is in there. Mr. Shotzi is in there. But 5 laps to go on a monumental season here in the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. 12 long weeks for a lot of these drivers, man. It was only sunshine for a very few select drivers. There were a ton of drivers in this league with their ups, with their downs. From Eldora to Kokomo, Kokomo to Volusia, and then we went to Lincoln and then Port Royal. Week 6, middle of the season, Fairbury Speedway. Lucas Oil was after that. And then the Ironman 75 at Peevely. That was week 8, Williams Grove, Cedar Lake. Last week, we saw Lernerville. Tonight, we saw Knoxville. We saw a new team on the come-up. We saw an old team up to their normal deeds. We saw this man give his all. And even though he was just a millimeter short in the end, it was an incredible season. An incredible drive and an incredible watch for Jeffrey Hyatt, who wins the championship round here at Knoxville. Unfortunately, that is not going to result in a trophy in his hands, though. For it is Jesse Newsom in the number 11 for Coast to Coast Sim Sports. who is going to take it in the end. He is your championship winner. But a round of applause for not only tonight, but an entire season here for Jeffrey Hyatt. He is going to place P2 in the championship standings, walking home with $200 in his pocket. Tyler Bickford, Nate Wimhoff, going to be P2 and P3 respectively. And that means it is a full Midwest lockout on the rostrum. Evan Horton, who led a ton of this race, could only muster P4 here tonight. TJ Boyd finishing out the season with a top 5. Very, very well done on him. So now as we make our way to the OuTPost Racing Network post-race show, we're going to start bringing in some drivers for their interviews. And first up is going to be the number 48 of Nate Wimhoff here. Nate, you got a copy?
I do.
You were very, very quick in the heat race tonight. You were also very quick in the feature. Now, I said it personally at the top of the broadcast. I said, Nate Wimhoff, now that is a dark horse for a winner here tonight, and you looked fast. Did you feel fast? Did it feel just great to you?
It really did. I was really bummed to see that caution come out, especially since I really felt like all the other guys were saying they were just running that middle to bottom and just trying to save as much as they were. And I saw the opportunity. I just don't really feel that great on the bottom, but when I hit that top, I just feel like I can cruise it up there. And when I just got there, I'm like, I'm just gonna stick it, and got up to the guys up front. I was trying to make my way to the front. Hopefully it stayed green, but then caution just had to come out. But luckily, once we got spread out again, I was able to make some ground back up and get back to third.
Yeah, now it is a double-edged sword, because I would like to say that your second half of the season looked superiorly strong compared to your first half of the season. Now, unfortunately, it came just a little too late, your run of form. But now looking towards the future and the rest of 2026, does how you finished these last few weeks give you a lot of confidence heading into whatever you decide to do next?
It does, actually. I'm just really bummed that the first half of the season, I just either wreck myself or I just get caught up in stupid stuff. And I just really bummed because I always felt like I had a fast race car, just always the pill draw, and then some of the penalties getting put into effect too. It was a struggle to get into the front and staying to the front. That's my motto, where I'm not really one to save. I'm more just one where if I'm at the front, I want to stay up front. Otherwise, I will be stuck in the back at the end of the race. But yeah, with end of the season and having so many close calls to a win for like Fairbury, that was so close, and even Lernerville. But with the end of the season, less people, but even then I felt pretty good, and even was able to keep up with Jesse at some of the tracks in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, your final run of the season looked absolutely incredible. And, whatever you decide to do next, I'm sure you're going to be very, very quick, because you have been on your money for the last few weeks. Well, we want you to get out of here and celebrate your P3 here tonight. But before we do, is there anybody you would like to thank or shout out for the performance here tonight?
Midwest Sim Sports, my team, DFM Sim Sports for the setup, and Aces and Eights for the wrap.
Yes, sir. Well, Nate Wimhoff, it's been a pleasure watching you drive here this season, and hopefully we'll see you with some success in some other stuff that you choose to pursue here in 2026. Enjoy your night, man. Nate Wimhoff,
Yep.
P3 here tonight, driver of the number 48. Now we're going to stay in the same camp, but we're going to bring in Mr. Tyler Bickford in the 07. Bicky, man, how you doing? How did it feel?
Felt great. Car felt great. I felt good. Can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, I agree. Now, got the P2 done here, and I mean, to be quite honest, you looked very, very fast. Now, towards the beginning, it seemed like you were hitting maybe a little bit of a struggle. Was that an unintentional struggle, or were you just trying to save your stuff for the late race?
I mean, if I had the choice, I'd rather stay up there. But I got into McGee one time, and then I was like, I'll just back off a little bit here and drop back to the rear, and just kind of coasted for a while. I think it ended up helping me in the long run. So
Yeah, I think it did too. You pretty good out there from the onset, especially in that traffic that you had with Jeffrey Hyatt. And I want to ask you about it almost seemed like there was a 3v3 going on there. It was the top 3 guys were Twisted Speed, the next 3 were Midwest. You guys had your own lines picked out, and it seriously just looked like a little bit of a 3v3, wrestling match. So, is that something that I'm sure you and the Midwest guys were all maybe in a Discord, a voice chat or something? Is that something that kind of got brought up, or is it just coincidence?
I think it was brought up that they were running a different line, but I think it was just coincidence how it happened. We always try and run the bottom for as long as we can, at least some of us, just because you save more tire that way. But top was fast for a long time there. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, it was very, very quick, and those Twisted Speed guys made it look very, very good. But Midwest is who ended up getting the last laugh here tonight. They lock out all 3 spots of the rostrum. With that being said, we want you to get out of here and celebrate your P2. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out for tonight's performance?
You for the broadcast as always. I love going back and watching it. No Limit Racing for putting this deal on. It's a long series. I'm glad they stuck it out. Glad I stuck it out. I think Midwest Sim Sports, CFM, Jeffrey Hyatt for the rap, just everybody in the crew. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate the kind words, Mr. Bickford. I'll be talking to you. Well, I shouldn't say that because the season is over tonight, but I'm sure whatever you decide to pursue next, I'm sure you'll find great success, you along with all the guys over at Midwest.
Thank you, man.
That was your second place finisher, Mr. Tyler Bickford. Now, moving on to our winner here tonight, someone who I've gotten to talk to on a regular basis here as of late, Mr. Jeffrey Hyatt. Man, how you doing?
I'm good, Mac. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Now, I must say, Jeff, you scared me there at, the front phase of the race. I think it was maybe lap 11, lap 12. You dropped down into an undesirable position. I think you sat maybe P10 at one point. What exactly happened?
I was just saving tires, honestly. I said, I had a game plan. I said, you know what? I'm gonna ride the bottom. I'm not going to the top. That's going to be my best bet in the end. And
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Oh, yes, sir, Jeffrey. So it seemed to get a little mixy there when you guys kind of had your little battle there with Twisted Speed. It ended up being 3 Twisted Speed drivers on the top, 3 Midwest drivers on the bottom. Tell me, how did that feel? And was it something that you kind of looked upon like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool?
Yeah. It was fun racing with those guys. They were all clean. Thankfully we all kept it clean, and even though we were kind of, me and Murphy and Bicky were, points battling there. I was just worried about Murphy the whole night, trying to figure out where he was at the whole time. And then I seen him kind of killing the top early, so I said, yeah, just let me stick to the bottom, and I think in the end I could get him. And then I think he got some damage and whatnot and kind of fell back. I'm not sure. I think he finished P6 or something like that. So I should be pretty good on points.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, James Murphy finished P6. I don't think there's really any way that you could be caught by Bickford, Carrington, or Murphy. So yeah, I think you do have P2 pretty much locked up.
Yeah, that's all I was really worried about, honestly, is just kind of no matter where I finished, if I could kind of finish close to him, to keep those points, kind of where they were at. I was really hoping Bicky could win. That way maybe he could leapfrog Murphy. Hell, he still might have leapfrogged him. I'm not sure. I guess we'll just have to check here shortly.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but you got it done here tonight at Knoxville. You've been in victory lane more than once in your league racing affairs going on here on a weekly basis, but you got P2 in the championship. That's going to be some munyon for you. And is there anybody you want to thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah. I like to thank Dana and them for doing this. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Appreciate you and all you do. Streaming this and then what you got going on Wednesday nights. That's real cool. And of course, Midwest Sim Sports. Those guys really do a lot for us over there. And if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be nowhere near as good as I am at the moment.
Yeah. Well, you had one heck of a season here. It was an honor to watch for sure, and I can't wait to see what you decide to do next. And yeah, man, take it easy and enjoy the win and enjoy the championship placing.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna call it like I called this one last week. I'll be talking to you Wednesday.
Well, that is great to hear. Thank you so much, Jeff, for being a good talk to in the booth, and good luck on everything that you pursue, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mike.
And the internet gods have already crashed my iRacing, and they're actively trying to crash my stream. I mean, gentlemen, what in the world is happening here? Well, I was wanting to get a championship interview with our champion here, but I guess when the clock strikes 8:30, the internet service provider is just like, nah, man, nah, you can't have any fun. No more fun allowed. So don't mind the overlay here. That is not a true overlay. TJ Boyd, I apologize, he is not the winner at Knoxville. He is not P2 in the championship. So with that being said, that's going to do it for the No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour. I hope you guys can still hear me. I do so dearly apologize. I'm glad we got through the race lickety-split. I'm glad that wasn't an issue. But Jesse Newsom is going to walk away your championship winner for Coast to Coast Sim Sports in that number 11. He won. I mean, I wish I had the stats here. I will actually pull up the stats, ladies and gentlemen, and we will go ahead and bring up your points. Jesse Newsom, these aren't your final points, but Jesse Newsom is going to be your championship winner here. It looks like Jeff Hyatt is going to be in P2 as I am receiving word that we will actually have a graphic here for you guys. Updated points. So everybody is going to be able to see exactly where they placed. So if I press this button here, yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little weirdly sized. We'll have to do some on-the-fly editing. But there should be your final points standings. Like I said, I'm sorry for how scuffed the end of this stream was. Mediacom decided to play devil on me. Jesse Newsom is going to win it with 6 wins. He got wins in half of the races this season, man. He is going to be on top with 1,511 points. Jeffrey Hyatt, very, very close behind in P2. Tyler Bickford only 58 points down. Or 48 points down, I apologize. To Jeffrey Hyatt. James Murphy is going to finish P4. So Tyler Bickford did get the jump in the championship standings. Nate Wimhoff, big night for him. He is going to re-jump Cam Carrington and come home P5. It was a fantastic season if you are a No Limit Racing Crown Jewel Tour fan. And what an honor it was to be able to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name Mac Nelson. If you guys are interested in keeping up with what No Limit Racing has got going on, they have got tons of series, tons of information in their Discord. You can find it in the link below. You can also find the link to the OuTPost Racing Network Discord. There you can book me for your races if you want your leagues broadcasted. You can also get involved in our Win Cash Wednesday series going on. It's a dirt oval kind of thing. We're going to be bringing some road course racing into the mix here soon as well. So with that being said, that does it for me. Thank you guys so much for inviting me into your homes every single Monday night. It was an honor. It was a privilege to be able to watch these guys drive and to call these races for you guys. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you in the next one.